culmination of primate evolution. I think that's the culmination, but I don't think it takes the next step from that to human. I don't think you get humanity out of from big feet, unless you hybrid them.
Oh.
What about
and also in Russia? In Russia, there's all kinds of Bigfoot that have been captured. And there's like all kinds of information on them, and
they have that whole group of people who were supposedly the hybrids who were like the whole town was basically having sex with these Bigfoot types in the mountains, and they were just redoing these kids over and over. And this whole
you got to read this book by Lloyd Pye called "Everything You Know Is Wrong." Really fascinating.
There's a Weird Al song called that too.
I actually have it over there on the shelf. It's excellent. Yeah.
Or is that the Mandela effect?
Nice.
Well,
the question is, we all agree, and probably everybody who's listening and viewing agrees on the 9/11 conspiracy.
Well, you know what else? What else is Reba McEntire used to be a Mandrell sister, but now she isn't, and that's part of the Mandela effect.
All right, let's get back to 9/11 before it starts a trend.
They can't be all good.
I only got like 10 more minutes. I forgot I had company coming over.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Let's end this with if you guys agree with the 9/11 conspiracy, and just whatever you think on that and what you think might have really happened that day, Raven.
Well, before I get to that, I have to talk about Mick Foley because he has the Mandelable claw.
It just gets worse. It just gets worse.
Hey, try your waitress, tip the veal.
Yes, thank you. Anyway, so 9/11, I absolutely believe is an inside job. I mean, there's so much proof. I mean, in fact, did you hear about the fact that now they have a grand jury investigation and not no indictments yet, but there's a grand jury hearing on the 9/11, the building, the towers going down?
Yes.
You did hear about it. What do I need to tell you for?
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Raven, for coming on.
That's a huge step, though. You were asking before, Stevie. You were saying, when's it going to change the educational system? Well, that's a huge step.
It is a huge step, but then mainstream media gets in the way, and most people who aren't looking for it and constantly researching it or going to Reddit aren't seeing that. That we call them the Nancy Browns of the world. That just whatever Oprah and Dr. Phil and Anderson Cooper tell them, that's what the real life news is.
Yeah, but here's the thing too: is it's probably a better thing that it's not publicized. Because first of all, grand juries are pretty secretive anyway, and secondly, it's probably better because if they come out with a bogus answer, then no one will know about it anyway. But if not, then it'll be like it'll be bringing a bunch of to-do about making a grand jury hearing doesn't go anywhere because people just go, whatever. But if it shows results, that's a bigger step. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think that if you ask most people today, they would say they don't believe the official story, which should be enough to make people angry. Should make people like, my God, and stick to their guns. But they just don't. But my question was, there's different theories. There's some that are very, very viable, and then there's some that are kind of out there, and then there's a mixture in between. What do you think happened that day?
I think that, first of all, I think that I don't know why Building 7 went down. It was, because that makes no sense, first of all. So obviously it was explosives involved or thermite. Thermite was found in the ashes, in the rubble, so thermite must have been used. But there also could have been another party involved. If you read Joseph Farrell, he believes there was two parties that came out. That there was the party that did it, and then there was the party that exacerbated it with scalar weaponry. So I haven't read Farrell's book yet. I've read a lot of his books, but I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten into even the fact that Mossad was kind of exposed as having these art students there, and they took some pictures of where they were able to take out part of the window and do things in the tower, and then someone actually took the numbers off the boxes and it went back to a demolition company that was a kind of a fly-by-night in that way. So it's strange when you put Israel in there, especially after, you know, people cheering in New Jersey and the reports of how that came out, and even them saying that Building 7 dropped 20 minutes before it did, or demolition trucks being filmed down there.
Or the Pentagon. The plane goes through the Pentagon, except the wings burn up, the plane burns up. There's no proof of the plane, except they found passports littered about that were perfectly fine.
Yeah. And even the frames from the footage of the security cam footage, frame 233, I believe it is 236 is gone, where it would be the actual one where it's flying directly in front of the camera. That frame's been removed. So they're just stooging themselves off.
The most secretive building in the entire world, and you would think that there would be a zillion cameras on it at all times monitoring it, like for safety purposes. And yet there's no footage anywhere except from the Holiday Inn across the street that got stolen.
Dude, Walmart has more cameras just when you go shopping for shoplifters. And there are tons of cameras. I think they said within 5 to 6 minutes after the impact, they had the FBI or whatever letter agency, 75 different camera feeds from around there, gas stations, hotels, all that stuff, until the Freedom of Information Act, where they released 6 frames. Was it?
Yeah.
6 or 7 frames?
6 frames.
My goodness.
If they released 4 more, we could have bowled the 300.
Tremendous.
That's right. Greeks invented the 300.
To all the family members of 9/11.
They call the same spot
And all the bowling members in their family.
We should get you to do dinner theater comedy at the memorial next year.
It depends what the dinner is.
Well, Scott,
what are they surfing on the plane that day?
What about the but I guess this was boils down to what I was saying before. I like theories that you can put substantial evidence behind. You know what I mean? Where you can say where there's substantial evidence, or that you can either use to prove something or to disprove something. You know, and the more esoteric it gets, like with the CERN stuff, the intellectual levels above my pay grade. You know, I mean, there's too much scientific minutia and too many, you know, just stabs in the dark for my taste. You know what I mean? I like to stick to the things that are, you know, that are easily pulled out and pointed to and have evidence for, or evidence against.
No, I couldn't agree more. We like to get into the fun stuff here and there, and the, you know.
Oh yeah. For you guys, yeah, absolutely. I would.
Sure.
If I bring up shit like that on my show, absolutely. But I'm saying, but if you guys are asking me my legit personal opinion, yeah, no, that's my personal take, you know. But if I was running a Sherwin's conspiracy, I would talk about all kinds of shit.
Yeah, we got to get into the serious stuff too. Like the plane that just went down had 19 UN people on it, which goes against all protocols. And you know, they were all investigating kind of chemtrails and things like that. Just with the other ones, the Malaysian flights, very similar stuff. So not stuff that we always are pumped to talk about, but you got to. Bigfoot's always a better, more fun chat for sure.
And we actually have the Bigfoot Museum up in LJ, so Scotty knows where that's at. Right up there and heading towards Blue Ridge, there's a Bigfoot Museum.
Really? I'm going to have to go see it next time I'm up that
You go right up 575, it turns into the 2-lane highway, and it's on the left-hand side near LJ.
No pictures.
No pictures. You can't take pictures or video. It's so bad.
Read the book by Lloyd Pye. Everything you know is wrong. It's fascinating.
Cool.
Will do, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on. Mr. Flamingo, ladies and gentlemen, you know, ahead of
Papa Don's exhausted.
Yeah, dude.
No, I'm just.
Did you see it? Like,
yeah, dude. You thought Stevie was a big leaguer. Holy shit.
Oh, fuck.
He'll put you in your place double quick.
I was like, he's like the Mr. Miyagi to Stevie's fucking Danielson.
Yeah, I was gonna try and go in and ask him if we can get an preposterous soundbite, but I didn't want to fucking come over the top at the end.
He just texted me. He goes, "Thanks. How was it?" I said, "Fucking rotten."
A plus, A plus.
The
Well, there you go,
The thing with
guys.
Scotty is the thing with Raven is this is, you know, it's incredible to debate with him, but it's also tiresome because sometimes with the actual when you get him on the right page, I'm sure you're trying to lead him just to kind of embrace the journey of trying to figure it out together rather than can I be more right or can I? He's almost afraid sometimes,
Yeah.
and I don't mean afraid like fearful, but his cognitive dissonance sometimes rolls in, and he says, "I just need to go with what I know and what the experts say." But when you look at stuff, most of the experts are paid shills too. So like you have to do your own research. He's literally a genius. He has a high IQ. He's a Mensa member, all this stuff. And that he probably, no offense, Sal, he probably has a higher IQ than some of the people at CERN. But the fact that he disqualifies himself from stuff because I don't have time, and that's not it. You're
Above
leaving.
my pay grade.
No, but it's almost like saying, like, in a wrestling term, like, man, I've never been to WWE. It's above my pay grade. I don't even want to give that a shot because this is what I know in this wrestling company.
It seems
or
like
this
he's got
job.
it seems like he's got a pretty in tune mind when it comes to physics. Like he likes that aspect of it to break it down. I think sending him some Jordy Rose stuff may really spark like a holy
That's
shit,
why I
what's
was
going
shocked
on
about
here?
the Mandela effect and the multiverse and everything, and then expanding out to all these things that the physics they have huge conferences talking about breaking the veil and going to multiverses and they exist, like 100% exist. I was so surprised. Yeah, like you said, he delves into that science, but then
He just
and
may
then
not have
also
seen
the-
it. I didn't want to be like, you haven't seen Jordy Rose? What the fuck? You know, like
Shut up! I would have fucking popped for that. I would've been
he
great.
already shut me down. I knew
Maybe he thought Jordy Rose was the kid that Jackson touched.
Could
Who
be.
knows?
He thought it was the guy from Star Trek.
That's what I think every time I hear it. But when I look at that too, like he's so into the science and the physics and all that stuff, I thought for sure that he would be all over that 69 to 72 moon landing streak of like, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
Of how they
And to
didn't
not
sell
know
it
that the
afterwards.
Orion mission, it's just he doesn't choose to do it because he's tied. My guess is every time he's talked to the guy from the Flat Earth podcast or Russian Vids or other people, he's had, I think he's talked, I don't know if he's talked to Ben. Ben's been on Jericho, but he connects the Russian Vids guy. His name's
using my
Ben.
slave name
Kayfabe.
and shit.
So he connects the moon landing hoax and NASA with the flat earthers because they hit that so hard. So I think that's why he's been so turned off, because that's a fascinating, the moon landing conspiracy. You can go into some rabbit holes that are really cool with that.
I knew he wasn't down with the flat earth. I was going to bring up what I thought was one of the best points we've made on the Horsemen ever is when we had your friend on and he talked about, was it Flying J?
Curious Jay.
Curious
Flying
Jay.
Jay's
Is a gas
delicious
station.
sweet
Yeah.
tea.
Curious Jay. We talked about his father being an engineer and putting up 900 miles of pipeline. And he asked him, well, did you figure in drop for the curvature? And he just stopped, like, you know what I mean, of where it would be. So all the pipe would fit up straight if it's going all the way across 900 miles and he didn't figure it in. That's a weird thing to me that's always kind of stuck out of like, oh, okay, that's an aha moment. But I didn't want to fucking break it down with a big story that way. Go ahead. What's that?
My cause is cannot put over enough that Scotty's bang on with Bigfoot.
That's it.
Like that's right there.
Little banger mash.
He's set.
You're
That's all-
bang
he's
on
got
with
all
that
the
one,
proof he
mate.
ever needs.
You're goddamn bang on with that one. Yeah, I was going to ask him. I see what his favorite Bigfoot footage is because I'm
Harry
convinced
and the Hendersons.
there's a lot. There's a lot of good Bigfoot footage out there in the last decade, man. Like some serious. You don't think so, dude?
It's all bullshit.
No, I think there's some good footage out there. Probably I could think of 5 or 6 clips where I'm like,
All right.
that's
I'm
pretty
gonna put this out
believable.
right now, right here on the table, an exclusive. All you fucking Mark fans right now who fucking like the bus balls on the fucking social media sites.
Notice how he's
and
not
he-
talking
and-
when Ravens.
Here we go.
You should have confronted him.
What, Ray? What are you talking about?
Should have said, you listen the fuck up right now, Raven, you fucking Mark. I'm going to give you how it is. I would have
No, there's
some
no
respect for you.
Now you're just comparing apples to oranges. But what I'm saying is, all you people who like to fucking email Stevie talking about I want to work out, but I don't have time because I got to sit here and do nothing with my life, and complain about the fucking band program. I want you all to fucking contribute to the fucking Nikon fucking camera fund. So this way we can go on a Bigfoot hunt with a fucking Nikon 1000p fucking Terminator 2, whatever fucking camera it's called, and actually get good, steady, clear footage. Because it's coincidental that we can look at the fucking moon with a T1000 or P1000 camera and get the fucking crevices and see all the shit on the moon that's 235,000 miles away, but we can't fucking get a clear Bigfoot video out of fucking Nancy Brown Jim Smith.
You can't, dude. That, like, sorry. Let me school you, city boy.
Please.
Fucking the moon stays in the fucking sky and your camera's on a tripod. In the woods, things are constantly moving around you, scared, and the fucking second that you walk up on a deer from 40 yards away that you didn't know was there, that motherfucker is up and gone. And you never even knew he was there. He could be 10 feet away from you and not know you were fucking there. And it's that way in the wild to be able to walk up on a Bigfoot feeding, get your camera out, be ready to fucking do that unless you pull up the scope and pull the trigger. That's the window of opportunity you have as a tracker and a hunter.
Come on, Sal. Smarten this kid up.
Well, now we're going to throw...
Please, Big Woods, fucking smarten me up on how it is to track game.
Well, no, smarten them up on Bigfoot.
All I'm saying now, because now if you're going to throw this, you got to throw into what the Native Americans have talked about for all that time.
Who'd they ever beat?
Nobody, not even smallpox. So the fact that they have Bigfoot or Sasquatch, man of the woods, whatever you want to call him, any fucking name you want to give him, they also have given him fucking predator cloaking. Like, there are certain people that
hypnosis, all that kind of shit.
He wills himself not to be seen. A smell that will knock you out if you got too close. Can I just
jump in here? There is, and this might be just me being a mark, but fucking when I'm in the woods and like I've got all the phone and shit and I have no cell phone signal away, like when you really get back to that animal level and you fucking try and it's super silent and does a tree fall in the woods and you're hearing everything from a squirrel to a fucking leaf drop, that's a sense that while all of our other stigmas going on constantly in our lives, we are not able to tune into that. The only way you can really do that is to get back to nature where there's no distraction but that, and your mind opens up to that. And once that happens, you're in a different spot. So when those, whatever they would be, folklore of Indian, if they can make you do things, there is a weird thing in nature when you can get to that moment of clarity and peace where your mind is in a different spot. So I almost can't, go against what they're trying to say there. I'd love to, but I can't.
All right, Timber Ninja. Let's get to something straight.
And this sounds awesome. I just want to be that guy in the woods, like the season 1, episode 1 of Arrow with the long beard and just draggly, but I'm in nature and nobody can bother me, and I don't have a phone where people can put shitty Instagram comments.
I can make it happen next week if you really want to. It's the true reason of solitude, man. I know it sounds all bullshit, Zen, whatever, but it really does happen.
Not at all.
Go ahead, Sal. Say what you're gonna say.
No, I'm just saying, like everything Ben is saying. I wasn't like coming against you on that. I'm saying this creature has all kinds of different. They've given it all sorts of different facilities, all sorts of abilities, and that again falls into our brain needs a way to fucking set this up.
Right.
Our brain needs a way to write this off so we can fucking exist. Otherwise, we fucking sit in a corner and shiver because if we go outside, we're fucked. Like there's a whole other rumor of supernatural shit. There's supposed to be a special place. It's in Africa. It's a particular place where the fucking veil is thin, where the reality veil is thin. And it's, if you look in a lot of fucking...
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to think, a lot of booze and headshots. So it's either a mirror or if you like bend over and look between your legs, you can see basically all of the other dimensional things that are existing with us on this plane, just not in our bandwidth.
Gotcha. So it's some type of, not Stargate, but the ability to see different dimensions because some type of field that we're in a 3-dimensional world is softer there because of whatever energy.
So it's almost like these guys who go down to South America and they smoke the peyote and the fucking DMT and all that shit, ayahuasca, whatever the fuck it's called.
Right. Their brain now is on the same level as this other
369.
shit.
That's what we're talking about. 369 frequency. What if fucking they do have some type of ESP mind control? If we're talking aliens and not Bigfoot, is that so fucking out of your realm?
Here's the other question. Now, if you look at a microscope, okay, of anything, take any living thing, it's all made out of those cells. And you know how when you look at the microscope, you see all the shit floating around in it? Mm-hmm. Like whether it's blood or a leaf or anything. You see the little
the cellular structure.
That is what our world is supposed to look like when you have full spectrum.
Right. Our entire lives, our entire 100-year existence could be nothing more than a fucking pube-sized vibration in the grand scale of everything.
Oh, you're right.
So why believe in God at that point?
So now the Bigfoot deal, this is something that they've had to do. So now he could disappear. He can knock you out with a smell. He can fucking step in between the worlds. He can do all these different things because we need a way to figure out how come he's not there now.
See, I totally get where you're going, but as a hunter and fucking going just after deer, which are a fairly smart and stupid creature a lot of times in both ways, and fearful, and flight or flight is gone. Like they're just gone. Now imagine something with an even bigger consciousness that has the cunning and reasoning ability. Like if you see those deer and you don't get up and get a shot, dude, they're gone. And you're tracking for 2-3 hours, maybe to get to see them again. Now something that's really trying to elude you that has a sense, I feel could do that very easily with a 75-yard head start in some thick fucking woods. You will walk right by them and never know that they were right there.
Again, let's break this down. Let's break this down to non-supernatural, we don't have to suppose anything. Let's just take what's out there.
I'm just talking animal shit, the way animals behave.
Let's talk a fucking mountain lion, okay? A mountain lion that's 60 pounds, 70 pounds, right? It is still able to fucking pick people off of bikes doing 50 miles an hour down a trail, and then actually know enough to grab them by the throat and keep them quiet while people look for them.
Well, that's it. But the fact is, it waits. It sees you coming from 60 yards away and waits and has cunning.
So that's what I'm saying.
And a Bigfoot could do the same thing in hiding.
This is what I'm saying. We don't even have to. Let's not even go to the Bigfoot level if you're having a problem believing this. Let's take it to just an animal, a terrestrial animal on our planet that is a dumb animal, can't speak, doesn't have the power to speak or use tools or anything. Knows.
So a wrestling fan.
To take. Well, but to take somebody down, and when people look for them, to actually keep them quiet, like a fucking devious, scary villain in a fucking movie.
Sure.
This thing knows, keep it shut. Otherwise, it'll lose.
Why does it know that? Why does it know to do that?
Because it wants to eat. It's hungry.
Or that's one reason. Or it's afraid that other predator pack animals, not necessarily a deer, won't come in to save another one to do that. Or it knows that another bigger predator will come in and steal its fucking meal and fake him off.
This thing on this base animal level knows to do that. So how to extrapolate that something is that smart and has the ability to think and move and hide? Sure. Like, even look at a gorilla. A gorilla is our closest relative. Now, it can sit in a bush. You'd never know it's there. You're walking through a jungle, and this thing decides to charge you. You're fucked. You have nowhere to go.
Actually, a pig and a dolphin is more close to a human than it is than a gorilla. Just saying.
Well, speak for yourself.
I'm just saying.
Or possibly Bigfoot. And I totally get what you guys are saying. I'm not trying to big league you hunting wise. I'm just saying I get the mythic. There it is. There it is. Preposterous. You know. But you guys, sorry we didn't have Adriana DiCiccio on tonight. She had some pressing biz, with Laura Loomer getting arrested or getting kicked out of CPAC rather, and kind of anxious to hear what she got kicked out of CPAC, dude. They pulled her fucking credentials.
Of all places?
Yep. It's just
why?
I was hoping to find out tonight.
No,
Because
get her on the show next week.
yeah, I won't be here, but
on the
please
show.
do, you guys. Definitely, I would
Where are you
love.
gonna be? Hunting Bigfoot?
I'll be in Jamaica hunting marijuana and rum.
Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you're going to the DMV?
He's going to Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah, I'm on. So
we got to get Billy Ray back and torture him.
yeah, I told him. I asked him if he would. So
He's gonna be
hopefully,
shell-shocked.
Billy Ray will be back in the house next week, you guys. But you know, Ian Ferguson and Raven, two great guests. Was happy to get big leagued by Raven. Made me feel like a fucking greenhorn again.
He didn't even plug his stuff. He just left.
He's just like, I got people coming over. I'm out of here. Fuck you guys.
I was gonna ask him about Corey Good and Gaia and the whole secret space thing. He's an alien. But then when I realized he's gonna go on a rant, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, he got his stuff, and it was good having him on. So thank you to Scotty, appreciate that. We'll jump over to the Conspiracy Horsemen gender neutral messaging system, which I'm sure is loaded to the fucking gills because we've had so many great guests on. Thank you, GGP, for pushing us to book all these great guests. I think they've made into some very interesting. It's not me,
dude. We're one team, one dream.
I know, but you were the team captain who wanted that, and you made your opinion heard, and it's been excellent since. So I appreciate it.
Stevie, when you talk to Raven, tell him I'm on the show and tell him I'm a big fan and thanks for having him on.
Sure,
because he had no idea who he had no idea.
Why are you talking so much? Oh well, I am the host, and it's named after me. But hello.
Is it Papadon's fault that she canceled too?
What?
Yeah.
Is it Papadon's fault that she canceled?
Yeah.
We blame him.
Could be.
Yeah, blame me. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
Okay.
Vaccines from Ash Gooden. Hello, Horseman. Is there any truth from your perspective of the thought that vaccines cause autism? I've seen a bit of uprising in the whole anti-vax movement and happened to stumble upon this article from Revisor that Minnesota is imposing a stricter implementation on immunization and removes many exemptions that once stood. Whilst I agree kids should be immunized, it seems to be taking the choice out of the hands of the idiots who may want to choose to not do it. I'm just wondering to what extent there are conspiracy theories with vaccines and their effects, and what your guys' thoughts are on the whole thing. I'm over here in the UK, and I'm starting to see the anti-vax filing taking hold too, but from my understanding, the notion is more prevalent in the States. Before GGP cuts in, I'm going to guess the Greeks invented immunization. Apologies if this has been addressed before. I'm currently on a massive Conspiracy Horseman binge, and I've banked a whole bunch of episodes. I'm currently listening to Passion of the Stevie Christ. Loved the Frankie Zero shit from that episode gone by. Simultaneously popped and cringed at the whole thing. Mission accomplished. Any chance of bringing Sal and GGP on for a guest spot on Raw, SmackDown? Why would you want to do that to them? Why would be a laugh to see them do some Master Shoot theater? Thanks for enlightening me. Kind regards, Ash Gooden. I used to get you to use my kayfabe last name, but I can't be fucked anymore. Sent from unknown. Yeah, man. Anybody want to take this before I jump in?
No. All right. Yes, it is linked. Reason why is because we don't know what the fuck's in the vaccinations. Case in point, the flu shot supposedly help people not get the flu, but there's been testimonies where people got the flu shot and got worse, even died from it. Or they say, well, the percentage of how you get the flu shot and the percentage of it working is only about 8 to 10% of the time that it will be able to prevent you from getting the flu, because there's different strands of flu. So they're injecting you with one strand of flu, but the other 37,000 different strands of flu that are out there, that shit doesn't work. Sorry, kid, you're on your own. But at the same time, you don't know what's in the shot. And at the same time, the person administering the shot, being a parent and knowing this from firsthand expertise, the people giving the shot, they're getting paid under the table and getting incentives from the big pharma company to push their drugs so they can get a kickback and go take a trip to go to Cancun, Mexico, or go find Bigfoot in the North Pacific. Whatever the case may be, they are on the take. So when someone's on the take and greed's involved, there's always a secondary plan underneath that people don't want to know about, but exists, because greed, again, follow the money, follow the truth. Greed comes into play, and human beings, just being greedy individuals and only caring about themselves, will put that they will put that first instead of doing what's right for the greater good of humanity.
Wonderfully said. The only thing I have to add to that is look at the numbers of autism cases, probably mid 80s through early 2000s, even 2015. and it's exponentially grown by 40 to 60% of cases that are known. 40%, mainly in young males. It seems to be boys more than girls. Not that they aren't affected, but it seems to be 2 or 3 to 1 males. And dude, this is since they changed from when we were little boys and kids, when we got injected, to putting all these heavy metals.
I was never an altar boy. So
all these heavy metals in this shit, and you're just seeing stories of people saying, "Hey, I took my 2-year-old or my 18-month-old to get vaccinated," and it was like shields went down over their eyes, and they were just instantly autistic after that within 36 hours.
Wow.
Of maybe that's 1 in, I don't even want to speculate, to be honest with you. I'm not going to put that out there, but that percentage has grown over that 30-year time period by 25 to 40% of clinical cases.
Just even if we get that one person.
Why fuck around?
Exactly.
Why are they putting that in there? Why did what we get was fine for us and did the job? However, now they've changed it and it's doing these other things. It's still doing the job, but it's doing these other things possibly as well. Why did they fuck around?
It's a different source of revenue for all big pharma. It's for them to make more money and have a bigger bottom line and be in the black, and so their CEO can get a fucking $5 million bonus at the end of the year. That's why. And like you said it best, growing up, okay, you needed your shots for your mumps, measles, whatever, chicken pox, but we didn't need 37,000 shots in order to sustain life on this planet. We did just fine. And I hate to break it to everybody out there, but Bubble Boy is a movie, but it could also be a documentary, because germs are not bad. Germs are good for you. You have to take in the germs so you can build up a resistance in your body, so this way you can survive on this planet. You try to suppress everything. The littlest ounce of dirt that's going to get on you is going to make your body get so shocked that it's going to send you into a fucking whirlwind, and you're not going to know how to react. But Big Pharma will have a resolution for that. And then that thing that you take to resolve that shocking turn of events inside your body will cause you to have 37 side effects, and then you'll have to take 37 more pills, and they'll lead you to more side effects. And it's like taking the car to the mechanic that fixes one thing but breaks another, so you can come back, so he can keep making money and money and money, and that's all it comes down to.
Sal, you like making money. What do you think?
I don't think that's true. Our government wouldn't do that to us.
Easy enough.
On to the next one. You guys good? Anybody else? Yes. Anybody else?
Can't follow that. Can't top that.
Why would you want to? From Mike Camira, Trump agenda. Hello, Horseman. My question this week is about Trump's agenda with the shadow government. What do you think they allowed the Trump to become president, and what is the end game for his presidency? Obviously, the shadow government wants him there, or we'd get news reports of Stevie Richards' fitness red bands on a doorknob in the Oval Office. Stevie, like Trump, also loves China. My opinion is that Trump's presidency is linked directly with free speech and censorship. Ever since he decided to run, the media have been relentless around the dangers of the words, and the sheep have followed, claiming speech is violence. Trump's shield, fists in, has been the First Amendment allows him to say what he pleases. Do you think the next campaign is going to use the agenda that somebody who can say what they like is dangerous and allow some backdoor act to slip through, allowing censorship and block on free media? The last time fear was placed in the minds of the public, we saw the Patriot Act slip right through, and with what's happening with the likes of Alex Jones and shadow banning, it seems like the chess pieces are in place for another safety themed act that actually removes freedom. Thanks, guys. I think you're right on, Mike. You've got the playbook figured out, and it only takes time for people to lower their guard and repeat the pattern of stupidity and behavior. Hopefully, because we're in a mass media movement world, we'll be a little more awake this time and see it coming and say, fuck you. That's all we can really hope for. However, the Nancy Browns and YouTube posters of the world don't give us much faith in our fellow man. Stevie?
This is what we said earlier about that, everybody's going to be begging for the government news network that Trump is pitching, and there's no middle ground, like Papadon said, no checks and balances. Like, oh yeah, well you want to lean this way, well we're going to go all the way this way, and that's what they want. They want that division, and then no matter what, you're going to be censored and you're going to be shut down or shadow banned or demonetized on both sides. There should just be, it should be like the talking about net neutrality and the internet should be a dumb pipe. There shouldn't be all these things like, hey, if you're rich or you have money, you deserve the better internet, or if you're in this part, you deserve the better internet or the better package, or you need to have the phone and the TV to do that, or like Mike Hawes said last week, my God, the TV license thing.
Licensing,
dude,
yeah.
Somebody sent me on Twitter pictures where they literally stooge off 3 people in this neighborhood don't have TV licenses, like telling everybody, get these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like the freaking does see something, say something.
Yeah.
Deal, you know. So this is,
dude, that's straight out of 1984. He goes down the hallway to help this lady because her husband's at work fix her sink, like her sink's clogged, and her kids are part of the junior spy league, and they're like going at him like, you're a spy, and they think it's cute and funny, but that is enough alone for someone to come take him and put him in the Guantanamo Bay. And that's exactly where, you know, that BBC is. Look at them. They don't have it. They weren't stupid like us. They got to be stupid like us and pay this government tax. Otherwise, they're the enemy. They're the evil ones. Usurper.
Yeah,
and fucking
saying,
boom.
hey, nobody should pay this license.
Exactly.
They're going to say, we're going to bring the lobster or crab thing. We're going to drag everybody down into the pot with us. Dude, this whole thing too, we could see unprecedentedly 2 tyrannies rolling at the same time on the left and the right.
I agree.
Rather than just one and trying to fight it from the opposite direction. Like, you could be fighting a 2-front war if you're people like us.
Right.
Go ahead, man.
No, it's just and I was just gonna say, basically that's the fucking from a strategic standpoint, fighting 2 fronts.
Yeah, you would know this from your role play games, right? Isn't this like
you're never gonna win anything on 2 fronts if you have to split. And, you know, we're the common man, whatever, and we got to fight both sides. We're fucked. We're completely fucked.
And again, that's straight out of 1984, where they're talking about the book of Oceanica fighting Eurasia, and then they were our enemies, but then they were our enemies, and now they're our allies, but they were always our allies secretly, and like, it's just a shell game of allegiances, and the common man, the Dusty Rhodes, the Nancy Brown has no fucking clue whatsoever. Even the non-common man, carny fucks like us don't know.
This type of thing where people drop dime on everybody has been going on for years. In New York's been happening forever when people had like an illegal basement apartment to help pay their mortgage.
Communism back in the day, right? When there was the communist hunt through Hollywood and everything.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Anything to get the heat off you.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing, man. And, you know, living in close neighborhoods like that, and I feel like that in the UK, and again, I'm not an expert, it's just from the bit I saw in Dublin.
Is it above your pay grade?
Well, it's above my pay grade. I don't pay attention to it. So, but I feel like growing up in the city, in our neighborhoods, it's the same way. Everybody's right on top of each other. You know, you're right that you know what the fuck everybody else is doing on the block. And if somebody starts hiding shit, you're like, well, that's weird. Why, you know, now everybody has to know why you're hiding that shit. And that was just, and here's the thing, it wasn't anything devious that everybody just wanted to know your shit because we're all on the same block. Everybody had the neighborhood thing going on.
Sure.
So now it's different. Now it's protect your kids from child molesters. Don't let drugs into that. You know what I mean? Like,
do something illegal. Do something illegal to make money if you could sure you can't get caught doing the scheme.
Right.
Like there's no when they say American Dream is dead and they write these big op-ed pieces about it, the headline's right. What they're writing is not. The fact of take care of one another, all that shit. It's fuck your buddy, greed, 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 with a smile on your face of the American dream. It's not that anymore. Why is the Oval Office oval from Adam R? From what I'm seeing, President George Washington, a Freemason, ordered for the reshaping of the office, then known as the Blue Room, to be oval. President Taft, a Freemason, has the architect finish the project and call it the Oval Office. Is there any relation to the all-seeing eye? Is this something that the Horsemen have come across before? #NWO sent from my iPhone.
I didn't know. I have no idea.
I didn't know about
it all
the
has to have
crafting.
some sort of symbolism. You don't
Sure.
just make that kind of change for especially the shape of a room.
Yeah.
I'm assuming for security reasons or anything else you would need, especially on the Taft era, that was post Lincoln, so there was Secret Service,
Sure.
there was protection, and there was like checks and balances put into place to protect the president. So you don't make those changes just because you're like, I like ovals. Let's do that. That's cool.
And I'd like to see, based on the overlay of angles and maps of DC, where that eye or oval sits in the greater scheme of everything. Maybe it does have an actual purpose to be inside of some greater sacred geometry. Sal?
Well, also, if you're looking at that too, like, in relation to how's the White House? Like, we always look at Washington as a whole, but the White House itself, is there any kind of shape or symbolism, Masonic stuff or Illuminati stuff, just in the shape of the building with the rooms? And the oval thing, if you remember the Omen series, where Damien becomes president and all that stuff?
Right. Yep.
There's a lot of symbolism in the posters there, and a lot of it is oval and stuff with the satanic stuff they put within that movie. So,
yeah,
I want to watch that movie and see what
Armand actually wanted to put over that Bill Clinton renamed it the Blue Chew Room. And, so it was all about erections after that instead of the Blue Room. But, yeah, man, dicks. Yeah, I would, completely believe Oval Office, all-seeing eye of Horus, whatever it is they want to put over from ancient Egypt mythologies that they've incorporated into their secret societies. It's well known that DC is, and the fact that Taft, another Freemason, felt the need to finish it or add to it and call it that would further reinforce your case. I would totally think you have something there. How you guys feeling? I think we've given them plenty of shoe. 2 hours and 45 minutes so far. We can come back and open up with the mailbag next show if you guys are good with that, man.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm good.
Whatever you want, dude.
I got
I mean, you're not here next week. You'll be
Well,
I'll
Billy
be
Ray
on.
do it. Maybe we'll hear it the fucking right way.
You'll hear it the right. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
on like that.
You want to come out
See,
me hard?
I told you he was mad at me about last week. I fucking told you. We had one little argument about something, and he's all
When did we
mad.
have an argument? When did we have an argument?
We didn't. You
Cocksucker.
just said that you were coming in with a different opinion, and you and I do what we do, man. And I will.
Mommy and Daddy are fighting.
I will throw under the bus. Strangler Steve goes, I knew what you were saying. It felt bad. No one wants to attack Sal, and I never want to be that guy who's the guy putting heat on Sal.
Maybe we'll read it in the Mac computer voice. Read the emails and that's because I love those YouTube videos. They don't annoy me at all.
No, they're
voice
super
at
fun to
25
listen
minutes.
to. Holy shit.
How many more emails are in the message bag?
A lot.
I think that'll be a whole show.
A lot. Yeah,
probably.
it's probably going to need to be a whole show, post whatever you guys want to do next week. Maybe we'll come back with that. But we do have other guests that we want to bring on for you. Things are picking up, you guys. We appreciate you guys sending us everything story-wise. And, that Brent Logan sent me, I was just so on edge to see that motherfucker get 50 years and he got 6 years. Man, that was tough to take. But we got to watch it. We got to comment on it, because if we just let those injustices go quietly into the night, then we won't be doing our due diligence as guardians of the independence, as Triple H would say. So as we go around and tell you about all of our big dates as we head into WrestleMania season, pal. Yeah, point at the sign, point at my crotch, and come on down to New York City and see some of your favorite wrestlers, including GGP. Where are you going to be, pal?
Well. Okay, let's see. 3:30
Tonight.
That's March 30th. I will be at NYWC Wrestling, where I will be teaming with Talon versus The Rep for the NYWC Tag Team Championships, looking to add more gold to the sexy waist of the Greek god. 4/7, that's April 7th, I will be doing Rescue Mania. It's Crowbar Show. 4/20, I will be over in Immortal, smacking the hell out of somebody and making sure that my buddy Ben Hamin over there, my tag team partner in crime, wins the heavyweight championship that night against Slick Wagner Brown. And then let's see, the week after that, the 27th, I'll be back in NYWC defending, spoiler alert, our tag team championships. Tomorrow, my new podcast, New Force Order, drops. Hopefully, Big Ray doesn't get drunk today for his birthday celebration and gets it done. And we'll throw it up on the Hami Media Group and Twitch. Wherever else, all the platforms like iTunes and Stitcher and Podbean and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. The email address for any questions or stories or memories of the galaxy far, far away will be the New Force Order at yahoo.com. You can send it over there.
Yahoo. You went Yahoo with it.
Or Gmail.
You fucking went Yahoo.
You went the opposite direction and got the most fucking hacked one.
Well, it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. They still use Yahoo over there.
It's okay. They can hack it all they want. What are they going to hang out? Stories about fucking, the fucking who shot first, Greedo or Han? We all know Han did. But regardless of that, let's see. You can catch me on Twitter at Greek God Papadon, Facebook Demetrius Papadon, YouTube channel Greek God Papadon, and my Pro Wrestling Tees store, which is Pro Wrestling Tees / Greek God Papadon. And tomorrow, you guys will all be down with the NFO and enjoy the podcast.
Awesome, man. I appreciate the extra hours you're putting in. I know you're passionate about it and can't wait to hear it and get some more education on Star Wars, because I was never, super into the books. I've almost thought about going back and doing that because I do love the series, but I haven't just crossed over into that psycho fan level. Meanwhile, my 3D printer prints out a Darth Vader, so maybe not.
Well, that's because you're too busy hunting Sasquatch. In
That's
the
it.
fucking woods.
No, I'm hunting.
You know in the woods, right? You know how to track, right?
I'm hunting Sasbotch, which is a very elusive character.
You don't even show up.
He's out looking for an envelope that he's never gonna find that envelope. So, Big Salallah, what's going down, brother? Great shows this week. Thank you for expanding the platform with Break and Sal. Everything you're doing with your crew on the horror junkyard, man. Great content, keeping people entertained at work, doing God's work out there, Sal. That's what you're doing.
That's why I'm here. That's the only reason I'm here, is to carry on his legacy and do God's work.
Yeah,
and part of God's work is to kill little babies and grandmas at just random moments. Just
not random
without any sort of
Wait, are we talking about CERN again?
No sort of consequence or just like that, just to do it. But I literally I did have the Thanos thought the other day, and I was like, God damn it, he was so fucking right. And it just struck me. It struck me, and I went, this has to be a platform because he is 100% correct.
I feel like if you were Thanos, Sal, and you snapped your fingers at me, I'd just be like, you know what? He's right. I deserved it. That was it. And I wouldn't even be hot about it, Sal. Like, Sal decided that's just the way it is.
But yeah, so the thing, Stevie and me got together on, Sunday morning. We're like, hey, let's do this. And we had a good time. I had a great time just hanging out and talking with him. So that's about it. That's all I'm doing.
Nice? Isn't it nice? We're all branching out and doing our own thing. I mean, you doing your podcast with Stevie. You got the Horror Junkyard, which you haven't mentioned yet, which is a great podcast.
I was gonna get to it, but I think you're heading somewhere with this.
Yeah, well, and I have the New Force Order podcast.
New.
Right? And you and I don't get invited onto the fucking podcast to go talk with Bret Hart about fucking Michael Jackson because we're the B team. So, it's all good.
Well, we are getting our B rolled, and that'll eventually someday Vince might listen to one of our things and be like, I like these guys, they're nice. I like these guys.
Every episode of the Horsemen, that's for sure.
Yeah,
We've tested him on it.
So anyway, like I was saying, we are still we have a couple ideas that we still have to get together for the Horror Junkyard. So if you still have ideas you want to send to us, movies, books, all kinds of shit like that, send it to the Horror Junkyard at protonmail.com. That's the CERN server that is not hackable like Yahoo.
Did you call the dude, the cameraman? Did you get in contact with him?
I have not, because I'm waiting that we do have the time that we're going to do this, because I don't want to call him and then never have it come out. So I want to call him when I'm sure I'm going to get a hold of him, and we're going to talk to him, and I'll make sure it all gets set. So we keep doing that, and we're going to keep trying to just be entertaining at the very least. And thank you, everybody, for all the really kind reviews on shit. So,
well, dude, you're killing it, man. It's the reason why. And I want to monetize your personality. No, it's the reason why you're. It's the reason why you're so beloved by everybody in what we do, Sal. And the fact that it gets to be shared is, as the Jews would say, a mitzvah. It's it's definitely something. We've talked about it. Whether it's cops, whether it's truckers, whether it's somebody in a cubicle who's fucking having that day. Or just having any day of living a pattern, and they get to escape for 2 hours that goes by in a fucking blink of an eye, because it's like you're sitting there with two old friends and having some laughs, man. That's really what that was on the first episode. I mean, we've been doing this enough, and you guys been in ECW and WWE together long enough. Obviously, it's going to click right away. There's no need to build the chemistry, but take a minute and realize what you're doing for somebody sometime, man, because it was great for me to watch or listen to. Even while I was working out, it took me to a great place. Made my day a lot better.
Which is totally weird that Stevie wouldn't talk to me for like the first 5 years I knew him. So that's cool. It was really cool that we got to this point.
You heard it. You heard from his mentor. You heard from his mentor earlier. You know why.
Yeah.
Why are you talking? Why are you talking? Why isn't Stevie talking? Stevie, talk.
If you're referring to 5 years in ECW that I didn't talk, that's why I couldn't fucking say a word. It wasn't you. Just sitting there
talk
like
to
a
him.
fucking kid on Saddam's lap.
Definitely, if you guys get a chance, go look that picture up, guys.
Yeah. Dirty turnbuckle, please.
Go look that picture up, and I'd like to see Stevie.
British kid on Saddam's lap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Raven is Saddam, Stevie is the kid. Please, dirty turnbuckle.
Raven's head before 10 o'clock tonight, guys. And go.
Nice.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Stevie, what do you got going down, man?
Well, we had like you said, the inaugural episode of Breaking Sal, which thank you for thinking of that name. I know he shakes his head every time, but that is the name of the podcast. But we are going to read at the beginning of episode number 2 this weekend. We came up with a thing to give people ideas for the worst names for the podcast, which we have 3 or 4, which are absolutely terrible. Which the one we came up with was actually really, really bad. Since it's Sal, I'll give everybody a little preview. Sal and Stevie. So obviously the SS podcast, but that probably wouldn't fly anywhere. So, but what we are going to do, because of the stream of consciousness that Sal put over, and we ended up right where we wanted to be, we're going to do a live watch party of wrestlers versus zombies.
Love it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that'll be. It may not be Sunday morning. We may try to figure out what day works up or a night that works where we watch it. Everybody's there, and we may have to test it, Sal, audio-wise. I might have to take the phone, just take the phone or the iPad with the Rodecaster Pro, and then the audio will feed right through. That'd probably be the easiest way to do it.
Cool.
But that'll be it for that. What's that?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Your mentor, your friend over here was talking about all these books that he's read or we should read. Why don't you tell the people the book that they actually should read? What's the name of the book?
Every time you brought it up, I was trying to interrupt, but you see the pain that I was
true.
from.
I feel your pain.
It was The Awakening of a Surgeon from Dr. Dave Janda. You can get that on Amazon.com and DaveJanda.com. And actually, he will be having a pro wrestling tee store soon.
We got to get him a match. That's the thing. We got to get him. Like, if he's going to be, we'll rib him until he fucking caves and is at ringside for a match. Like, bro, you're on pro wrestling
we'll get up
tees.
In Michigan and do it, Ann Arbor. but I was on a T-shirt, little productive T-shirt thing, and I created a fake news network thing for his thing, and he calls it the lamestream fake media. So it was a TV with FNN in there.
It was great,
Cool. So he liked it, so that's going up soon. Also, I have a pro wrestling tee store that I have to create some shirts for, prowrestlingtees.com/Stevie Richards. Also, Instagram, who gives a fuck because it ain't working. Facebook, who gives a fuck, it ain't working. But the YouTube channel for now is still up, and that's where you can find segments from Breaking Sal. 2 of them were House Hunters infuriates Big Sal, and the newest one where I called out a real estate salesperson, Carney, in the middle of an upsell, in the middle of a group of people. It was a pretty good story. And the next one after that will be Sal will destroy Wizards of the Coast. So that will be coming later this week.
I'll expect a cease and desist letter from those fucking cunts.
It's okay.
Yalla, anything else? It's StevieRichardsFitness.com, you guys.
Oh, yeah, I got that fucking program everybody complains about now. It's too cheap, too expensive.
It's too...
You didn't include a set of 3 bands for the $15 workout. That, you know what?
Just give up, really. It's not even worth being healthy at this point. You guys, Planet X is coming.
Fucking carny workout program with fat instructors. Do that one. Don't do this one.
Planet X is coming.
Which one are you talking about?
I don't know. There's 10 or 15 of them out there.
Behind the conservatory.
Thank you very much for your support.
Good
you
form,
fat
so.
bastard. You guys have spent $15 on a beer at a bar, but you
I didn't call them that. I didn't call them those.
I did. And what are they going to do? I'll smack the hell out of it. I'll smack the cupcake out their mouth.
Wait till they try and swipe the credit card. Then you can do anything you want to.
Invest $15 in yourself. Hit the SRF program. Trust me, it works. It's
and
not
then,
bullshit.
while you guys are doing that, and you're fucking stuffing your face waiting for it to come, contact Rachel Ray and tell him you want this guy on the show. You want Stevie on the show for fitness tips and recipes for keto. That's what you want. So make
and
sure
cat grooming tips.
Cat grooming as well, because they will love to see a long-haired, oiled-up fella be really nice to a cat and then show them a fucking keto diet that they can do in front of their husbands, so that way when they leave they can stuff their faces with chips watching Rachel Ray.
And if you want to see a terrorist with big shoulders and healthy breasts, then come on out to Crossfire Wrestling for my open challenge on March 20th.
Big shoulders.
Who said you had healthy breasts?
Come on. 323. I'll be up there in Canada. St. Catharines, Ontario, Infidels Open Challenge. I think Joe Pimentel, this little 140-pound midget fighter who's never won a shoot fight in his life but keeps getting his ass kicked in the ring, wants a piece. So let him come step to me and Mohammed J. Moore. What's that, Yalla?
Envy's book?
No, he's even smaller than Envy, if you can believe that. So it'll be fun to kick his ass on the 23rd. Coming right off of my great vacation in Jamaica, so don't send me any bullshit, you infidel marks. I don't want to hear it next week. And
thanks for listening.
Yeah, Yalla. And then on 420, after I go to the home country of that moron Slick Wagner Brown and all the people of Jamaica shit all over him, which you'll see in plenty of promos, I'm sure.
Should bring his family back.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be not Usain Bolt, but Hamain Bolt taking the world heavyweight title from the immortal champion Slick Wagner the Brown on 420, the International Day of You Pot Smoking Welfare Morons.
Slick Wagner the Brown. That's funny on so many levels.
You know where the t-shirts are. Get the official Hameen's Tarp Emporium, rare sellout and coming soon. Hey pal at ProWrestlingTees.com/Bin Hameen at Bin_Hameen for all of your verbal $5 face slaps, or show up to a show and bring some money and I'll slap the piss out of you morons. Cause it's Raven, it's Ian Ferguson, and it's the Conspiracy Horsemen here tonight, infidels. Look out for Bigfoot or don't. YOLO.